Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody with an invisible condition, no matter what that is, to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you do have a voice, you have a community, you are never, ever alone. And, here at Invisible Condition, we get it. We know that life can be tough sometimes. And we also know that there's always hope. And so we live in that, we walk in that hope is there, and there is always hope. And so we love it that way. And so I do want to touch on one thing before we bring our guest guest, not so much a guest as my co-host. You probably know her. Her name's Michal LeBaron. And she's amazing, and you're going to see her in just a minute. We're going to have another amazing show that's going to blow your mind. But first, I want to talk about Hydra with Hope, which is our nonprofit, that's our nonprofit arm of Invisible Condition. We aim to help people with hydrocephalus, which is the condition that I was born with. And a lot of people with hydrocephalus have brain surgery over and over and over. Thankfully, I have only had 7 of those pesky brain surgeries in the last 48 years on this planet. And I don't really plan on having any more, but that doesn't mean that other people with hydrocephalus aren't in the throes of brain surgery. And so we want to help, and we have resources, and we love speaking around the country to tell people that there is always hope beyond brain surgery. And the other thing is, if you have been watching for a minute, for a while, for months, for years, thank you so much for being here. And if you or anybody that you know that might want to, partner with us, align with us in this mission of spreading hope through amazing stories of resilience with these invisible conditions, I would love to talk to you. So go send me an email right here at invisiblecondition@e360tv.com, and let's have a conversation. You never know. Our audience would love to hear what you're doing. So, all right, let's bring Michal on and get this started here, because I know we've got something cool to talk about today, as every day. Hello, Michal. Thank you for being here. We're back. What are we talking about today? Well, first of all, for anybody, just a couple minutes, 2-minute little intro for yourself, just in case people haven't been watching. And then what are we going to talk about today?
So if you guys are new, I've been on for a couple seasons, I believe, a few, and I'm a functional medicine practitioner and nutritionist and lots of other things. And I went from being bedridden for years to being fully healthy. And so I was told an autoimmune disease would be forever. I was told a genetic condition would be forever, and allergies that were very serious and severe would be forever. And I have none of those things, and I can eat all the foods, and I'm not on any supplements or meds, and I don't need the chiropractor and all of the symptom management tools that kept me functioning for years and years. I was able to give up all those things. And so what really made the difference for me, after trying everything, was learning about the nervous system and how to regulate. So in a state of fight or flight, freeze or fawn survival mode, our body's ability to self-repair and to function optimally is turned off. And so no wonder we end up having perpetual problems. But when we are in a regulated state, in the resting, digesting, growth, and repair state, the parasympathetic, our cells can function optimally, and we are in a state of regeneration and repair cellularly. So we produce all of our stem cells and our growth hormone and all of those healing hormones. Our antioxidant systems are at full capacity, right? We digest and our immune system's good. And so it's really amazing that if we can keep ourselves in that state, it really only takes a few months for the body to repair damage, and even if it's been there for decades. And what I love about that also is that we produce billions of cells every second, and we very quickly replace our body. So our digestive and immune systems are replaced about every 30 days. And when I started learning this, it just started making less and less sense, all the things that I was told. Like, oh, it has leaky gut and everyone's autoimmune and, that'll be permanent. I'm like, well, wait, if we're getting a brand new immune system and digestive system every month, those things don't make sense. And
Right.
so it's really, are the cells surviving or are the cells optimally functioning? And that's what makes the difference. And the nervous system is what controls that. And that goes into our topic today, which is actually going to be like, what is one of the fundamental things that is causing dysregulation amongst most of humanity, and it's something in all of us. And so and that really is rejection versus acceptance. And so no, we're not talking about do some deep breathing to regulate. That's not going to shift the fundamental default of being in survival mode. We're talking about fundamentally shifting from being in the state of survival to being in a regulated state as a default. And so when we reject and resist ourselves through judgments, criticisms, limiting beliefs, fears, insecurities about ourselves, or we reject our experience with that same judgmental, critical voice in our heads, we create stress and tension and pressure in our bodies, and we're not able to regulate and we're not able to process. And so we bottle it all up, suppress it, repress it, oppress it, and that's dysregulation for you. So a lot of what we teach our clients in regulating and working through chronic illnesses, working through flare-ups, is one, it's like feeling your feelings from a place of acceptance, treating yourself kindly with love from a place of acceptance and compassion, like you would your own best friend, and learning to move through the resistance so that we're not in that state. So if we are rejecting our bodies, ourselves, our life experiences, we are going to stay in a state of survival. When we can come from a place of acceptance, compassion, love, gentleness, kindness, we can regulate and we can move through and we can grow through our life experiences. And that doesn't mean, yay, I've arrived and I'm perfect. It means that I treat myself with kindness and compassion and understanding and empathy. And I value myself, but I value all the experiences of my life, including the uncomfortable stuff, because I can see from a bigger perspective, wow, how is this working together for my good, for my growth? And how can I move forward in a even better way? And so when that's my focus and my commitment in life is growth and expansion, and doing my best and all of that, then I embrace life's challenges in a new way. If it's all about feeling comfortable, then I will reject myself, being comfortable and feeling perfect, right? Then I will reject myself and looking good and all that survival stuff. Then I will reject myself and I will reject my experience and I will miss the gifts that life has to offer me. And I read a quote by Eckhart Tolle. I guess I'm on a roll. I was
going to say, you mentioned him last time we recorded the show too. He must,
His quote was like, I'm gonna butcher it, but it's essentially like, trusting that life always gives us exactly what we need for the expansion of our consciousness. It's like whatever we deem as important, that's what's going to drive our experiences. And at the root of the root, and doing this with so many people over 15, 16 years, it's a lot of it comes down to acceptance versus rejection. And I find myself asking them a lot, like, can you be with that emotion? Can you feel it? Can you allow it? You're not going to get stuck with it. It's when we feel it, it releases, right? It comes up and out. Yeah. It's the rejection and the resistance, and that it's a bad habit. It's like an instinct that we're like, I don't want to feel that. It's uncomfortable. We're constantly doing that in our society. It's learning how to allow and accept our experience. And then it's amazing because I watch clients, they start coaching themselves. They start having realizations themselves. Like, I'm not even doing anything at that point. They're guiding themselves through it. And it really just comes down to, can you be with yourself in whatever's coming up and know that that's valuable and it's part of your process? So
Man, that's hard. That's so hard. Society doesn't like that.
No.
You're not supposed to be uncomfortable. You're not supposed to see the messy parts. You're not supposed to see the the person, breaking down, and like you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be strong and confident and all that nonsense. So it's
And look perfect and have the smile on, and
right. Yeah. It's okay to be a puddle on the floor. It's okay to be broken sometimes. It's how you learn. It's how you grow. It's how you get through well, it's like you've talked about on previous shows that we've said the phrase healing phase a lot, and healing phase is when you see the symptom, right? That's the symptom presents itself in the healing phase, but that's when everybody thinks, oh no, I'm sick, so I better take this and this and this and this to suppress it. But if you do that, you mess it up. Same thing with this. Don't skip the messy parts,
Yep. And we can't, because if we do, they show up in our bodies,
They'll bang your door right in. They'll kick the door in. Yeah.
You can't run away from it. Yes. So it's like, well, we better learn to have a perspective shift on our human experience so that we aren't seeing it as bad and rejecting it, but we're actually seeing the gifts in it and the love in it and the growth in it and the opportunity in it.
Love it.
That really changes everything when we can have these subtle shifts. And I'm working with so many clients with like flare-ups, it always ties to something in their life. So I'm always like, well, what was happening yesterday between 9 and 10 a.m.? Oh, well, I was stressed out and I was running late. And so I skipped breakfast because I was trying to get here on time because I, didn't wake up on time because I had a hard time sleeping because blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, okay, so let's look at the patterns and habits, right? And start looking, what would healthy have looked like? What would have regulated looked like? How could you, the moment you even realized all this had happened, we have another choice of like, oh, yeah, I skipped out on bedtime. I went to bed late. Then I changed my alarm. So that was another shortcut, but it doesn't matter. That was my learning. Great. How can I be with myself in this moment? Probably take some deep breaths, slow down. What do I need right now? What's the priority? Okay, let's grab these bags. Let's go to work, but we're going to stay slowed down. It's okay. Right. So it's learning how to parent ourselves which is a loving, supportive, and nurturing voice, not a critical, judgmental, perfectionist voice. That's the rejection of ourselves and our experiences. And so part of that is we are afraid of what we're experiencing. We're afraid to feel. We're afraid of the future. We're afraid of what could happen. And so fear hijacks us. Another one is we think something's wrong. Like what if nothing was ever wrong? Now, I can only give you so much conceptually here. You'd have to, work on this, but we have processes to help people really discover that. No, can we see everything I thought was wrong in my life, right? Wove together for good. Like it wasn't the end of the story. The story continues.
Right.
And I know I'm not saying this lightly. I have been through trauma. I have been through abuse. I have been through lots of things in my life. And looking back now, I'm like, oh man, I would never wish that on my worst enemy. However, I wouldn't trade it for anything because it has led me here. And without that, I wouldn't have this growth, or without that, I wouldn't have this awareness, or without that, I wouldn't be having the honor of helping others heal through similar things.
Yeah.
Which is like my greatest purpose, passion, fulfillment, like calling, So I'm like, okay, and so what if nothing was ever wrong? Just what if? Not even like, you don't even have to adopt that, but you could try it on as a point of view. What if nothing was wrong? How would you view it? What would you do? How would you respond? What if you knew it was all good? Not even that it wasn't wrong. What if you knew it was all good and that it all works together for good for those who are in love? And so it's like, these subtle perspective shifts can open up big doors for us having an entirely new experience. Now, it's not like just telling yourself that. I feel like that's where a lot of the world has concepts that they've never actually experienced. So it's not like, I watch this with clients all the time. They're like, yeah, I'm just telling myself it's going to be, it's like that toxic positivity. Oh, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. I'm like, no, you're ignoring your feelings. How are you really feeling?
Yeah, I mean, the word that keeps popping into my head is affirmations. Like people are always all about affirmations. And I don't think there's anything wrong with affirmations. I have some, my wife has some. We talk about them all day, every day, not all day. We talk about them every day because we want to remind our brain, condition our brain that you can, affirm what you're after, what your mission is for that day, that week, that year. But it can't be it can't be hollow. It can't be that's all you're doing.
Yes.
You've got to have action to go with it. If
Exactly.
you're just saying the affirmation, you
Yes.
might as well just stop wasting the oxygen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
because
yeah,
we actually have to believe it on the subconscious and unconscious levels.
Yep.
And so this isn't about just something surface level like that. It's about uncovering what's really underneath. So the beauty of affirmations, like how I've used them in one of the classes I've been teaching over the last few months, is we're actually going to say some affirmations, which I haven't done. I mean, this was like, we don't even need those to regulate, but I felt to do it in this class I was teaching. And what we actually did instead was we said the affirmation and we felt how we felt. Did we actually believe it? And if we didn't, we dove into why and what do we believe instead? And what are those feelings in our bodies? And what did our nervous system just do with this positive statement? Because if it's not something we believe, our nervous system will like react like that's foreign and unknown, right? And so we can even feel that in our nervous system that it's not true. So we're more like using everything that comes up for us emotionally, mentally, physically as insight into what's going on in our inner world. And that's where there is work to be done. So no, if you just use affirmations, but you're not even tuned in, or you're trying to have the affirmation, which is outside of us, it's external, fix something for your experience, you're still in survival mode. You're still you're using an affirmation to reject your current experience. How trippy is that, right? So
say that again. That kind of blew my mind a little bit. Say that again.
Yeah, if we're using something like an affirmation to try to change or fix our experience, we're using an affirmation to reject our experience.
To like fool your brain into something that's not.
Yes, because you're trying to use it to escape. So it's not, a lot of these tools are great, but it's how do we use them? And from which paradigm are we using them from? Are we using them from fear and avoidance and escapism and rejection? Or are we using them from, an acceptance and loving part of ourselves? Anyway, I know we have to go to the break, but more after the break.
You are like, you're blowing me back in my seat here. I'm listening to this going, crap. Yeah. Couple things are coming up in my mind right now. I'm like, yep. It's so awesome. Yeah, this is all good. This is all good stuff. And I promise everybody that's watching, this is good. This is good to learn this, because once you know it, it's so valuable, and it'll gift you so many cool things to learn this. So I'm so glad you're all here to hear all this. And yes, we do need to go to a break, so we'll do that. But we will be back in just a couple of minutes. And by the way, if you are watching on any of these and you have a question for Michal, I mean, that QR code that's been there, and it'll be there for the rest of the show. So don't worry, it'll be back. But if you are on Facebook or YouTube watching, and the easiest thing for you to do is to comment, please do comment, and we can get in touch with you. And if you have a question, or your mind just melted because of something we said or what she said, I'd love to hear from you. So anyway, all right, here we go. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break, and more to come.
Hey there. You know, every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
Hey everyone, Coach Greg here from Living Empowered TV, where we help women live empowered lives through amazing guests, life hacks, mental, physical, and emotional health. See us on the Achieve Network, 12 o'clock Wednesdays Pacific time on E360 TV. Don't miss out.
All right, here we are back for the second segment. I hope you enjoyed the first one. If you're just joining us, go back and watch the first segment because it's good stuff. It's good stuff. And if you're watching on any of these, you're able to very easily reach out. And if you have questions throughout the show, or if you want to get in touch with Michal, this is a very good way to do it. Also, whoops, not that one. Where is it? That's the one right there. That's the one. That's the other best way to get a hold of Michal. And just for kicks, what are they going to find when they get to that, when they scan the QR code? Is that your calendar? Is that just the way to get in touch with you? Is that your website?
Yep, that's on our website, and it's a page where they can go in and schedule a free consultation.
Nice.
And we schedule at least 90 minutes to get started just to review everything. And we'll also send a lot of education and resources too before we talk. So we've got a good solid foundation of what we need to chat about. So
nice. Yeah, 90 minutes. That's a big deal, man. There's there's a lot of places that, how about a 15-minute no. 15 minutes isn't going to cut it. So 90 is awesome. All right. So let's dive into what we're doing.
Yep. We're really talking about the ways that we reject, avoid, escape our human experience. And in what we've seen, me and my company, my team, over 15, 16 years and hundreds of people, is we all have the same patterns. And so really at the root of any way we could perceive a situation that would cause us to be in conflict, fundamentally there's a rejection or a wanting to escape or a judgment about what we are experiencing or about ourselves. And that's that inner critic voice. And so really healing that is going to be where we end up living from a regulated place. So we really have to heal our relationship with ourselves as part of this journey. It's not just oh yay, what can I take to get my stomach stuff to go away? That's so surface level. It will never go away if you're actually not healing at the brain and the nervous system level.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about a few other ways that people commonly reject their experiences. You know, and one of the other ways I see it is in like shoulds. This should have gone a different way. I should have done this different, which even could be true.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, I know better. I know that the thing I did doesn't work. And I did it anyway. And here I am with the consequence. So sure, that could be true. But the fact that it's a should is a rejection of your experience instead of, well, why did I do it anyway? Well, it's like, can we go deeper? Can we explore more? What is this here to teach me? Why did I ignore myself? Or why did I tell myself, oh, it would be fine? Or why did I forget? Was I too occupied with something else? You know, so if we stay curious and open, and we value every experience that comes up as a gift, as part of our process, there are no shoulds. That's a fantasy. Being in fantasy is escapism. So instead of like anywhere you see, I should have done this or they should have done that, that's a fantasy. Let's get in reality about this is what happened. What does this show me? What does this teach me? How can I respond now in a way that makes me feel good and proud of myself and how I responded, right?
Yeah, there's so many people that would rather be in that fantasy world, though. It's it's miserable there, but it's also seriously, it's miserable.
Yeah.
It's not fun there. Oh, I should have done this. Because that's where regret lives, and that's where, blaming yourself and all that stuff. But it's what we're used to. We don't want to do the hard thing. We want to say, oh, well, we'll do it different next time. That's what I should have done. Next, hindsight's 2020, all those things. But what you're saying is, instead of saying this is what I should have done, you're saying what people would be better to do is to say, this is what I will do now. This is what I'm going to do next.
Yes.
This is what I've learned to do instead. Yeah.
Yes. Which isn't that what we want to teach our kids? I have a 7-year-old. I wouldn't want her to be like the voice in my head, right? That I worked so hard to heal. Oh, I should have done that. I'm not, I should be dead because it's not worth living because, I'm an idiot because and this is wounding in humanity right now.
Yeah.
And it is. And we all have it. Even if it's 2%, most of us have this wounding. And so that's the other thing, is these parts of ourselves that we probably don't prefer. They do probably come from our wounding. It's like our egoic patterns. We also judge those. And then we try to kill that off or judge it or escape it or fix it or reject it. And fundamentally, we actually get entangled in it when we're doing that. So it's also like, how can I accept and embrace even those parts of me and send love to them and help those parts to grow and to be loved and to get the healing that they need, because likely that wounding came from where we felt rejected in the first place. So this is the vicious cycle. I was in personal development for years.
Yeah.
And I was so mad and sad when I realized that I was actually creating more shadow and more wounding in myself because I was trying to fix myself. I was creating more judgments and more shoulds and more perfectionism about who I should be and how I'm not that. And that's not this either. So there was a huge paradigm shift for me many years ago when I was like, no, we don't do personal development, because most of personal development, just like affirmations, right? It seems like such a great thing, but it doesn't work for people. If it's not working for you, it's because of where it's coming from. It's coming from the same survival patterns that were rejecting you in the first place, that created the patterns you don't like in the first place. But now I'm going to try to force myself to change and then punish myself when I don't live up to it. That's different than healing the root of those patterns and habits. Then they're integrated. They're not a problem. They don't show up. We don't do them anymore. We move beyond it. One of my favorite quotes is, you cannot shame yourself into change. You can only love yourself into evolving.
Nice.
So this also points to it. Fear, shame, guilt, love, joy, peace. Where am I meeting myself in what I'm doing to heal? And the same, dieting, supplements, we can take it from fear, shame, guilt, right? Or we can take actions for our health from love, peace, joy. So most people, even the positive things they're doing, it's still coming from this other paradigm. And that's really what needs to heal.
Well, and part of what people are dealing with is that it feels, and I've been guilty of this too. Over the years, believe me, I've been guilty of this too. And I'm sure some of you will relate to this. There was a joke or a story or whatever that somebody told me. And there was these two good old boys sitting in the South somewhere on their big porch, drinking iced tea in their rocking chairs. And there was a big old hound dog over here. And he was just howling away, just howling. And one of the guys looks at the other one and says, "What's wrong with your dog?" He says, "Oh, he's sitting on a nail." He says, "Well, why won't he move?" He goes, "Oh, it only hurts enough to howl, So it doesn't hurt enough to get up and move and take action. It just hurts enough to complain." So
I know. And then my heart breaks because I'm like, not just for the dog, but that is
Well,
what
no. I mean, yeah, don't worry. That wasn't a real dog. It's just a story. But but that's how so many people are, right? It's like, no. I don't want to change anything. I just want to be heard and want to be.
Yeah.
But if you really want to make a difference for yourself, you would probably get up off the nail.
Yes. And please do. Like, my heart hurts. I'm like, please do.
Yeah.
It's so much better. Life is better not with the nail, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And that's from love, right? From love, we would not want to perpetuate our suffering.
Exactly.
From self-rejection.
Right. Yeah, that just affects me, right? That's
right. Yes.
But
it
doesn't.
It affects the whole. I know, Jinx.
Yeah.
So there's a few words that I also felt I like to boil the concepts down simply.
Yeah.
To help us learn how to begin to accept our experience and our path. And so I'm pulling them up now just so I don't blank in the middle of saying it. One is gentleness. I love this word of gentleness because we are not very gentle with ourselves as humanity, right? And gentleness, in my own experience, when I come back to being gentle with myself, that already feels accepting.
Yeah.
And grounding and all the things we've talked about before. So gentleness, approaching this with gentleness. Like, we have time. That's what's like, tell yourself, parent yourself, it's okay. You have time. We've got, there's no rush, you know?
Yeah.
And see if you can begin to create that space for yourself of gentleness. The other is trust.
We're so much more eager to extend that to other people than to ourselves, though. Like I would jump at the chance to extend that to Catherine, to my wife, Catherine. I bend over backwards to get to do that. But for myself, you're so hard on yourself. Why didn't you do that different? Why did you, and you're just so hard on yourself.
Yep.
So this is a good lesson. Yeah.
Totally. And this is where humanity is at in their wounding. Right. But the more that we can give it to ourselves, the more we can teach others how. Yes. And we can genuinely extend that as well, but from like a complete place within ourselves. Yeah. And that's just so what's needed. And we all affect each other. You hear all the time that partners pick each other out of their wounding. They have similar wounding. And so then they just perpetuate each other's problems. Right. So me healing myself is going to help any relationship I'm in because I'm getting to contribute regulation, healthy patterns, healing, wholeness into the relationship. I'm not perfect, right? But that's what we want to contribute. To the level you meet yourself is the level with which you can meet another.
Oof. It's true. Okay. It's a little rough. That's a little rough.
I know. And then trust is the next one.
Yep.
And we know as humanity, this should be no surprise. We can't trust. We don't trust. We don't trust ourselves. That's why this must be restored within ourselves. I watch this as one of the main things that my clients restore in their relationship with themselves is self-trust.
Yeah.
Trusting their intuition, trusting the messages from their body, trust. And so it's also trusting I'm right where I need to be. This wherever I'm at in my process is fine. So comparison is the thief of joy, right? We've heard of this. So lovingly knock it off. Stop comparing. You can't do that. It causes division and rejection, not only within yourself, but within the whole, within the collective, because now I'm comparing. Right. And then I'm jealous. Right. And then I heard once in Kabbalah, there's a concept of the evil eye. It was interesting watching a video on this. It wasn't like, I wish you would die. That's what I always thought. The evil eye was like, I'm wishing you horrible things because you hurt me. Right. Or whatever. And this was just saying that whenever we view someone else as having something that we wish we had, that has this lack, that has this evil eye component of now I'm contributing negative energy because I'm just feeling like I wish I had that and I don't have that, even if it's not conscious.
Yeah.
So we have to be mindful of this, right? But it's trusting I shouldn't be where Jeff is and Jeff shouldn't be where I'm at. See, should. There we go again.
There it is.
I'm trusting I'm exactly where I am supposed to be on my journey, and I'm seeing the gifts and the value in it, and I'm going to meet myself there gently and with love.
Yeah.
And I'm trusting whatever's coming up, even if it's uncomfortable, fear, grief, pain, anger. So many of us suppress anger when anger is actually trying. It's like our inner truth trying to get our attention. It's like trying to lift us up to get off the nail. If we're going to use the analogy,
exactly.
If the dog allowed itself to get angry about the nail, the dog would have the energy to move.
Yep.
So, but until we can get angry about it, we kind of don't have enough energy. We're just in our suffering, right? And we're in more of apathy and hopelessness and all of those things, like weakness and, self-doubt and all these things. No, the moment we can get angry, yes, I'm like, good, let it out. But do it, the Bible even says, be angry and sin not. So I'm not saying be
That's right.
controlled by your anger. But I'm saying allow yourself to recognize even that is good. What is the anger here to teach me? Where am I out of alignment with my values? Where do I need to take action to resolve this and move forward in a way that feels healthy and good? And if we stop rejecting anger as our experience, which I did once, I prayed, I was like, okay, help me just experience anger for what it is without any preconceived notions, right? Because I always think anger is bad. That's my conditioning.
Well,
and all I felt in my body was an energy that was rising up, but it actually felt loving. It felt honest and true. And it was about something that was out of whack. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels like righteous anger. I'm like, so I pictured a hose. That's the visual. That when we try to block the hose of water's coming out of a hose.
Yep.
And we try to block it with our thumb. That's rejection. The water shoots out everywhere.
Goes around it. Yeah.
Shoots out faster and more pointed, whatever. Okay. This is what I was being shown about my anger is, no, it's the suppression of anger that allows it to shoot out in all of these dysfunctional ways. If I actually just allowed the water to flow out, it wouldn't be flowing out so aggressively. And I could just see it for what it is. Just like water, it's neutral and I can use water for good or I can use water for bad.
Right.
It's just water. And so that was a restoring of anger to me of like, well, God gave us anger. We're humans. We experience anger. This isn't bad or wrong. If I just come at it neutrally and gently and compassionately and I stay open and curious, what is this? And I was just like, wow, anger is such a gift. It is an energizing gift that helps us align stuff that's out of whack. And that's it. And I'm so grateful now. So I don't repress my anger, because I recognize it for what it is. And it doesn't come out like, F this person. And I don't like go in my head about this stuff anymore because I know my anger has a place in my life.
Yeah.
So that's trust. And when we come back from the break, we're going to give the third and final concept that will help. And I hope this is coming across clear.
No, this is awesome. In fact, I was just going to say, I hope you guys just like, seriously, I had to, if I was listening to this, I might have just fallen out of my chair, because I've always, like, anger has always been, like, don't you dare, anger is the enemy. You don't get angry. If you get angry, then people, and so this is like, this is just blowing my mind here. So, I'm gonna be mulling this over during the break. So, okay, stick around, everybody. We got more to talk about. So stick around. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Tired of losing cell service in dead zones? Concerned about connectivity in emergencies? There is now an answer. Introducing the Love Pod. The world's first affordable encrypted global internet Wi-Fi hotspot connects with multiple service carrier networks, and is satellite assisted when no service carrier networks are available. So it works virtually anytime, anywhere. Connect up to 9 devices, like our cell phone, laptop, desktop, TV, security cam, and more. Stream, chat, text, download, and make phone calls, all with no roaming fees. With mesh capability, the Love Pods will grow in strength and speed with each new pod activated to create a private terrestrial-based intranet called Love Global Network. The Love Pods are dual blockchain encrypted with Love's proprietary 2048-bit cube chain encryption, giving you the ultimate protection in data privacy and security against digital attacks and hacks to your devices. You are no longer tracked, and your data is never sold. Get the Love Pod, your private, encrypted, portable global internet Wi-Fi hotspot, and stay safe and stay connected.
Hi, I'm Jake, co-founder and CEO of One Hope. My friends and I started this company in 2007 out of the back of this truck on a mission to enrich people's lives through wine. Today, we've grown into a state-of-the-art Napa Valley winery that proudly houses a portfolio of award-winning wines which have touched lives through over 40,000 nonprofits at home and around the globe. And it's happening every day. Being rooted in local communities and contributing to initiatives that uplift neighborhoods, celebrate cultures, and promote community. It's what got us here. You see, through every bottle sold, your purchase can make a direct impact on the causes you care about. One Hope's cause of choice has given back over $10 million and counting.
Hey everyone, Coach Greg here from Living Empowered TV, where we help women live empowered lives through amazing guests, life hacks, mental, physical, and emotional health. See us on the Achieve Network, 12 o'clock Wednesdays Pacific time on E360 TV. Don't miss out.
We're back, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for watching. And by the way, I just throw this out there one more time. If you are watching anywhere here, Facebook, YouTube, Facebook and YouTube specifically, and you have a question, I mean, the QR code is there. I'll put that back in a second. Don't worry. But if you're not able to scan it or whatever, and you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, reach out. Like, we want to hear from you. If you have questions, and I'm sure there's some people with some questions because this is kind of mind-blowing stuff. So there you go. All right, I'm going to put that back so that people can get in touch with Michal very, very easily. Okay, we were on a roll here. We got one left.
Okay, yes, we do. And we were talking about anger, right? And even seeing anger through a different lens is so powerful. And I was teaching a class once on being able to see yourself as God sees you. We were looking at all these negative beliefs we adopt about ourselves. And I just opened the Bible. It was like, I figured, I just opened it and pointed, right? And it was talking about Nehemiah and how Nehemiah felt anger in his heart and allowed that. And then the next day he went and took action.
Yep.
And so anger is not bad, right? But it's, can we feel it through our heart, through love, through truth? And so the third word is surrender, which I think goes really well with this, right? Because resistance is the opposite of surrender and allow, right? So my coaching of myself is like, okay, gentleness. If I'm not being gentle and I'm starting to feel desperate or scared or upset or emotionally charged or whatever, it's like, okay, gentleness with myself, or I make a mistake, whatever, gentleness, trust, and surrender. Like, can I trust and just be in this experience for what it is and be willing to walk through it with whatever's in the highest good of everyone. That's I surrender ego and everything else, right? Whatever I think it needs to look like, I'm surrendering it all because I just need to walk with trust and faith. And so these words just help me learn to embody this and practice this, but these three might be something that help us not reject our experience and come to truly accept ourselves wherever we are at and whatever our experience is. So I hope that helps.
Yeah.
People.
That's amazing. Yeah. And because I'm still stuck on the anger thing. People think anger is so terrible, and it's in your anger. Don't sin in your anger, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, be angry.
Yeah.
And do not sin.
Yeah. It's okay to be angry.
Yep.
But really, I kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe tell me what you think on this, but I feel like I'm not very good at that. If I get angry, it's not going to go well a lot of the time. Us crazy humans don't do well with it's like anger and sin go like this.
Yeah.
Most
and
of the
I would
time.
say it's the suppression of anger. It's the resistance of anger. That's actually it, because if I actually allow the anger to be what it is without all this stuff, so what you resist persists.
Yes. So if you let it build up, that's what you're talking about. That makes it really hard for you not to sin in your anger. Got it.
Exactly. Yep. Then it bursts out, right? Or if I'm not actually listening to what anger is trying to tell me, then you're not even getting it. So your anger's like, hello, it's a messenger. So actually it's a beautiful gift. This is where we shift that perspective. If I accept anger as a beautiful part of me that is precious and valuable too, then, okay, what is this about? What are my values? What is my heart trying to say? What is my spirit and soul trying to say? What am I really angry about? Why am I really angry? And when I allow that to come through, there's nothing to be angry about. It's like, thank you. Thank you. You're right. Thank you. You're right. Right. I did need to see that. I did need to face that. And David Hawkins on the Map of Consciousness, he actually says that anger is a very positive thing as well. And that is where we finally go from inaction to taking action. So it's there to help give us the energy to have the courage, is above anger, by the way, to have the courage to actually do something about it. Yep. And then right after anger, there's courage. And then there's all the positive ones, being neutral, being in acceptance, being in love and peace and joy. So, from apathy, got to get a little angry to have the energy to go into those higher perspectives. But I call it a fail safe. That's the crazy thing about the ego and humanity's wounding right now, is we reject even our anger, but that's actually keeping us in a lower survival state than if we allowed the anger to energize us into what is in alignment and what is true for us and what is healthy and good. So even anger is a gift here to support us in our evolution, which is a bad word. You know what I mean? It's in our
I know what you mean. Yeah, in your growth, in your growth as a human. Yeah, yep. you gotta. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, anger is not necessarily the enemy all the time. You just gotta use it right. That's all.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Man. Okay. That was worth the price of admission right there, guys. Anger. Everybody talks about anger like it's this like it's the thing in the corner that you're not supposed to pay attention. Don't get angry. Don't be that guy. But but it's okay sometimes.
Yes.
It's what you do with it.
Right, exactly. But plus, if we're rejecting the experience of anger, we are rejecting ourselves experiencing it.
Oh, yeah.
So if anger is bad, then I'm bad if I'm angry. And there we go into the wounding. I'm not enough because I get angry and I shouldn't be here. And so it's a very self-fulfilling hamster wheel. Yep. It's like we got to pluck humanity out of that into a paradigm of peace. And if I experience anger through peace, think on that. And I have. But experiencing anger through peace is an entirely different experience.
Man, that sounds weird. Anger and peace in the same sentence.
I know.
But it's true. No, I mean, guys, seriously, you're going to have to rewind. I'm going to have to rewind this and listen to that a couple more times because that's such a shift to think about. So, well, we got we got about a minute or maybe two left. What do you want to leave our audience with today?
I think I just want to support you guys, and so does my team. So if you need anything or have questions or want to chat about chronic illnesses or any of the concepts today, I would invite you to schedule a free consult. And also, we'll point you in the right direction with resources. We will meet you wherever you're at in the journey. So anyone can do it. Our passion and purpose and calling is about making this available to the world for the healing of humanity. So we'll meet you wherever you're at, financially, time-wise, whatever that looks like, and really just help you get clear on what your next step in your healing journey is.
Nice. And she has and by the way, guys, I'm a tough nut to crack sometimes. I went through Michal's program and she talked to me and said, yeah, no, not yet. Go over here, talk to this nice person over here. And I worked with an associate of hers for, I don't know, several months, and then came back, and then we met again. And you asked me some of the same questions. You're like, there we go. Now we're ready. Now we can actually get something done. So, guys, literally what I'm saying is if I can pull this off, anybody can. So yeah, definitely totally valuable, extremely valuable. Reach out and get that consult. So yeah, so Michal, thank you so much. This is awesome. As always, I always love our discussions because it always blows my mind. And I mean, I just want to dive in more after we're done. It's like, go to the Facebook page and go dig, So yeah. So everybody, just thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you are, let's see, if depending on where you're watching, I mean, everybody can be watching from all kinds of different places. If you're watching here, thank you. If this is your first time being here, thank you for being here. If it's not, and you've been watching for, I can say years now. We've been on the air over 2 years now. So if you've been watching for years, that sounds kind of cool. Thank you for being here. Spread the word, share. If this is your favorite episode that you just watched, share it, because it might be somebody else's too. They just don't know it yet. And, join us on our next show, which our next show with Michal, our next show in general will be May 9th. So May 9th, which is a Friday, will be our next show. And our next chat with Michal will be on May 20th. So set your calendar, set your reminders, go to YouTube and tell them to remind you next time an episode's going to pop up. And we'll see you then, because I can't wait for you to meet the next guest. So, all right. Michal, thank you for being here so much. Always a pleasure. And everybody else, have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.